Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If this is the first time you're here, you're welcome to Sew with Carissa. And if you're a returning subscriber or viewer, thanks for sticking with me. In today's video, we'll be making this simple basque effects dress for a 7-year-old girl. It's a very simple tutorial. And so if it's something you are interested in, please make sure you watch the video to the end, and don't forget to leave a thumbs up, subscribe, leave a comment, and also share to your loved ones. So let's jump right into the video. So first off, we'll draw our starting line, then we'll place our tape rule and take out our back measurement, which is 11 inches. 11 inches divided by 2, that is 5.5. And then for the armhole, I go down by 5.5 inches, and then I'll take a straight ruler to line that out. So the next thing I'm going to do is to place my taper from the starting point down to the half length. The half length is for this dress is um 11 inches, but because it's a basque waist, so I'm using 10 inches, and I'm going to rule that out as well. And the next thing I'm going to do is to take my basque measurement. That is where the basque is going to start from. So that one, the basque measurement is 12 inches, which I already. For the neck width, I use 2.5, and the neck depth is 2.5 inches as well. I'm doing a four corner neckline, so it's not going to be the usual round neck, and that is how I use my ruler to draw out the neckline. So for my bust measurement is 24 inches, 24 divided by 4, because the fabric is folded into two, so this is the front part. So 24 divided by 4, that is 6 inches plus 1 inch for ease and 1.5 inches for sewing allowance. And because this dress is for a 6-year-old, so the bust and the waist measurement is this has the same measurement. So I'll go down from my waistline down to that back to give it a slant curve for the basque effect. So the next thing I'm going to do is to come to my armhole area. I use my pattern ruler to curve out the armhole area, and then for the shoulder slope, I went in by half an inch, and I use my ruler to draw out the shoulder slants. And the next thing I'm going to do is to trim it out. And note, when I was trimming it out, this is the front part. I did not trim out the shoulder the shoulder slant. So the next thing to do is to place the front parts on a folded fabric, on another folded fabric, and then I'm going to take out 1 inch for our zip allowance, and then I'm just going to trim it out. And this time around, I'm going to trim out this shoulder slant. And once I'm done with that, note you're also going to give your back part the basque effect. So now you see, as you can see, I'm trimming out the shoulder slants. And for my neck depth for the back part, I went in by 1 inch, and then I'm just going to rule it and let it join the uh front part. And then you have to be very careful when you are trimming out your back part, so you don't trim the front part. I mean, when you are trimming the front part, so you don't trim the front and the back parts together. I made that mistake here, and I'm going to transfer my front part to another fabric to cut it out. So here I'm trying to cut out a facing for my front part. I already placed the front part on another fabric. That was where I made the mistake for the front part before. So I'm just going to cut out the um facing for the front part, and this is how it's going to look like once I'm done cutting the facing. So I will repeat the same process for the back part as well. Once I'm done cutting the facing for the back part, and this is how it's going to look like, I'm also going to place that the facing on the front and the back part. I'll take that to my sewing machine, and I'm going to sew that round. And once I'm done, this is how it's going to look like. This is the front part. I've also added my dart to the front part. As you can see, my dart is 6 inches. And for the back part as well, I've also added my facing and my dart as well. So the next thing we're going to do now is to place the right parts facing each other. That is the front and the back part. And then we're going to join it by the shoulder, like so. You're going to, I'm trying to show you how you're going to join it so that it will look very neat once you are done joining it, since you are not lining the dress. So you're going to use the front, let the front and the front and the back part face each other at the shoulder line, and then the facing, you're just going to fold it to the back, and then you take it to your sewing machine and give it a nice and to and sew it with half an inch. And as you can see, I've done that to the to both sides, and this is how it's going to look like. You take that to your ironing table and you give it a good press. As you can see that the finishing is very very neat after joining. So this is how it looks like. So once you're done with that, the next thing you're going to do is to join it by the side. So you're going to place the front and the back together, and then you're just going to go in. You're going to So the next thing I'm going to do is to place my tape rule to remove the 1.5 inches that I use for my sewing allowance. I'm just going to place it on my fabric, both on the bust line and the waistline as well. And then I'll repeat the same process on the other side of the dress. So that is how we will determine our bust measurement and our waist measurement. Once I'm done doing that, I'm just going to take it to the sewing machine and then I'm going to join it. And this is what we're going to have after joining it. And then this is the joining allowance. I'm just going to open that out, and then I'll take it to my sewing machine and I'll press it. Make sure that when you join your dress, always open the sewing allowance and press it so it can have a very neat finishing outside. So as you can see, this is how it's going to look like. And then I'm just going to measure the waist round. That is what will determine the gathers I'm going to gather for the base of the dress. And the next thing I'm going to do is to I've already cut out the base of the dress, which is 19 inches for the length, and then I use 1.5 inches for the gathers. I already gathered that out. I'm just going to determine the center for the gathers. That's for the base of the dress. I'm just going to the middle of it. I'm going to place it at the back's point. That is where the back's effect starts from. So I'm just going to join that and then I'll sew it on. The next thing I'm going to do is to fix my zip on that. And this is the sleeve. I'm doing a fray and the cutting for the sleeve. For the sleeve length is the sleeve length is 7 inches, and the round sleeve is 9.5 inches. So I just did a freehand cutting for the sleeve. So once I'm done with that, I'll fix my zip and fix my sleeve, and that is all for the simple back dress for a 7-year-old girl. And this is what we have. Very simple, easy to sew. And please do not forget to subscribe to my channel. Please like, comment, and also share. If you have any complaint, please do not forget to drop it in the comment section. And if you have any video you would want me to make, also drop it in the comment section. See you in my next video. Thank you for watching. Bye.